Before moving on to the core Sikha, I would like to digress for a moment to look at two footnotes in which the Rebbe responds to two potential challenges to his thesis. The thesis of the Rebbe was that Shevi Levi had two distinct roles. These two roles are reflected in the repetitive information contained in Pasuk 8. The challenge proposes that rather than create two roles for Bnei Levi, the duplication of Pasuk 7 could come on account of the need to emphasize and focus attention to the information that has been presented. In fact, with careful analysis of the Chumash text, we find many instances where entire concepts are repeated. For example, the attitude towards the ger, the convert, in terms of treating him or her as an outsider, is clearly stated in Pasuk 34 of Vayikra 19, where the Pasuk states that Ke'ezrach mikem yiyeh lachem hager hagaretchem, that once a person has converted into Judaism, he or she must be treated and have the same status and rights as an Ezrach, one born as a Jew. V'yahavta lo kamocha, you are to love him or her, include them in your societies kamocha, as you would want to be included in the community. This idea was repeated by Moshe Rabbeinu in Sefer Dvarim. V'yahavtem et hager, you are to love the convert. Ki gerem hiyitem be'eretz Mitzrayim, because you were deemed to be the other, the outsider, during the years that you, as a nation, were trapped in Eretz Mitzrayim. And therefore, one could challenge the thesis of the Rebbe by suggesting that Bamidbar 8 is repeated by the Chumash to emphasize the role of the Bnei Levi. And as such, this would undermine the thesis of the Rebbe in his explanation for Bamidbar 3:8. In the words of the footnote, Ve'af shel pa'amim ba davar echad beit pa'amim. There are a number of occasions in which a particular topic is recorded in the Chumash, not once but twice, and the reason is lechizuk ha'inyan, to emphasize the topic under discussion. And in response, the Rebbe provides a caveat to this explanation for repetitive information, and that is that the concept of chizuk ha'inyan, emphasis of the topic, is valid provided that it meets one of two conditions. One, that the repetition must be limited to a single word or possibly a single phrase. As for example in Devarim 11:13, V'haya im shamoa tishma'u el mitzvotai, which translates as, if you will surely listen, if you will surely pay attention to and observe el mitzvotai, my mitzvot. And two, if it happens to be an entire repetition of a pasuk, then one could argue that it is there for emphasis if the second pasuk is located away from the original statement. With respect to Bamidbar Perek 3, the repetition lies not in a single word or phrase but in an entire pasuk, and the repetition follows immediately the original statement. And therefore, we return to the original question, and that is the need for a repetition of information in Pasuk Chet, and for which the Rebbe's thesis is that it comes to inform us of two different aspects to the role of the Bnei Levi.